So we are here with Rick Kennay. Is it Kennany or Kennay? I'm having a tongue twister. Kennay. Kenny Kennay. I keep wanting to say it wrong, but Rick Kennay. And he's the owner of Kennay Farms Distilling. And this is in Rochelle, Illinois, in a little tiny town. I personally know a lot about the town. There's a lot of history in this distillery that I'm personally interested in because there's a lot of people involved in this that I personally know, and your location is something else that I personally know, and the history and what you guys did with it. So I'm going to start with you, Rick. Um, I I am curious. You started this it's been just a few years, um, but you guys have grown this tremendously over that short period of time frame. What my question is because you all started in farming first, correct?
Correct.
And if I remember right, you guys have been farming in that area since the late 1800s.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this has just been generations of farming. Um, what what prompted you to transition from farming to distilling? Where was that transition point?
You know, my family has always been rather, throughout the years, we've raised a lot of livestock, and that added a lot of. And this is another way to add value to our crops. And I had a family. One, my nephew is a distiller, so he brought what we needed, and then and my daughter was she had a good business. I had the ability to grow the crop, so it seemed like a natural fit.
So, did you have any distilling experience at all?
My nephew, yes,
Adam.
yeah, you
Adam.
bet.
So, and I'm I did some research, Rick, and Adam
Okay,
learned from somebody else that works for you, correct?
exactly. The the the
Um,
the person that brews our beer taught
Don.
Don. Yes,
Yep. So, Adam learned the craft from Don. And is this before you guys opened the distillery, or was it during the transition?
it was before we opened the distillery. The first thing we did is we found a distiller, and the thing you have to do before you buy the equipment, you've got to find a distiller,
Oh,
an expert.
somebody with some recipes and know-how. You know. So I I think Don is he's on the other side of the business there, right? In the brewery. Is
Exactly.
that
Yes.
so? You
Yes.
guys are distilling and you're brewing. You guys got your own beer and you got your own
You
distill.
bet. Yes.
So I mean that's I mean you're kind of well rounded there. Um,
Yeah. It's a very
and
rare license to be a distiller and a brewer. Very fortunate to get to, to get the distinction of a brewery and a distillery. We feel very blessed that we got both of the licenses.
yeah, I mean it sounds like the pieces fell into place for you,
Oh yeah.
and you don't outsource for grains, do you?
No, we grow most of the grains ourselves. Like for instance, with beers, obviously we have to source some of the grains that, especially beers, and like they have to um, source the juniper berries when we make them.
Okay.
But for the most
Um,
part, probably 80 to 90% of the grains are.
okay, so yeah, I mean, you guys are going right from the farm, and I think um, your son Caleb, right, runs the farms.
Yes, the row crop, the grain farming, and the small grains that's needed for the
Yeah, so I mean,
for the.
your whole family's involved in this. So Caleb's got the crops. You got your Adams Distilling. You got Don on the brewery side, and you got your daughter there, Aubrey, right? And
Yes, sir. Yes.
so you're in charge of marketing.
Do a lot of the marketing. Yes.
So how did?
Yes, I do the social media, website, the logistics coordination, and HR, if you will.
Okay, well, I seen your website, so you do really good work. I went to your website, and
And it's that. That
I,
was a different
I,
side of the business that I had to learn.
yeah, I mean, hey, it seems like a well-rounded family experience there, and you guys are just full circle now. And Rick, it must make you proud to have your kids and your family involved in this as well. I mean, I certainly would be.
It was important to us to keep everyone involved. So it was just one more way to make sure we could all have a place to come back to if we wanted to. We off to college and all made our way back. So that was always important to Dad that we all had a place to come home. Really nice for all of us. I get to bring my boys to work with me, and
Yeah.
Caleb gets to times or stay at the farm. So we all kind of work together, but we all have our own separate little niches within the businesses too.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Rick, let me ask you this. What, I mean, y'all are from Ashton. What brought you guys to Rochelle? Like, what brought the business to Rochelle?
Well, what brought us to Rochelle was the theater that we're standing in now. That the taller the ceilings, the more height that we could get in our stills. So, and the theater when it was built in 1926, we just loved the building, and we hated to see it deteriorate to the point. It was almost the point where something really had to be done. So that's what brought us to Rochelle. So in a nutshell, it was the hub here.
Yeah, the Hub Theater in Rochelle, Illinois, and it was open for years, closed down, reopened for a short period of time, and then it closed down for good. And you guys repurposed the building, but more importantly, you guys kept the character of that theater. You kept the history of that theater still intact. Y'all,
I didn't catch that last part.
I said, you guys still kept that history of the theater intact there. The
Yes,
structure, everything in that.
a lot. Yes, we kept a lot of the walk little here. These are all the original brick walls. See the original booths that people would actually sit up in. Those were all original look.
Yeah.
Just obviously make them safer and structurally sound. Those
Sure.
were all kept. Obviously, things had to be brought up to code and made safe, but the bones, if you will, of the building were all left. We hired a really great firm that's historical renovations, so they were integral to make sure the historical integrity.
And that's really cool, and I think that brings a lot of character to a business as well. That let me ask you this: you guys have a logo, right? And tell me about this logo. its logo is a female carrying a barrel.
Yes, let me see if I can get to different spot. See where I can find our logo here. Yes, it is a female. We wanted to kind of showcase that. I'll just grab the bottle here.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, there's a big one. The women in our family are very integral to our businesses. Mom worked a lot with the farm and with the distilling. So the woman was just kind of a way. Women were kind of taking a step forward in both the farming and the agricultural and the so we were really fortunate to get Rochelle native, and he's a world-renowned artist. I mean, he did some spectacular work for others and other companies, and he's got a level of art expertise.
Yeah.
He worked on this for us for about a year, and when you really look close at it, just jump on Kennay Farms Distilling.com, you can see a close-up of her and kind of all the hidden meanings that he was able to put in for us. So that was really
I personally know.
We had a strong.
Yeah, I personally know also who designed that. His name's Dusty Horner. He actually works for DreamWorks Theater for Steven Spielberg, and he for some reason he hides a lot of things in a lot of what he does, and a normal person would never see it. It'd have to be explained to you. And he's a different level. I grew up with him, and he's an amazing person. I remember when he went to MIAD, Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, and seeing some of his artwork there. It's just crazy. But the rest of his family are in a different business. So all the Horners are in a different business, and he decided to go that route. But he did amazing work on the graphics on that, and that's kind of the centerpiece now of your business is that logo. It's everywhere. So let me. So I got you, Aubrey, and then we talked about Adam, your cousin. So going down the line here, and then Don, he's your brewer, and then you got Jana Grubin Kegel, event coordinator there. So you guys do events as well. And I think I want to say her last name is Molly.
Yes, that's Molly. Yeah, she does a lot of our bartending and as well. Yeah, she's a local girl. She's been with us since we started in 2019. She's great.
Yeah, I think all y'all, every single one of you are farmers there. Jana grew up in a small farm town, not necessarily on a farm, but she grew up in a small farm town and surrounded by corn. Let me add, you guys got some awards. Let's talk about these now. One in particular is the certified sustainable farm in 2021. And tell me about that.
Yes. Yeah, it's a series of things that your farm has to do to be certified. So one of the big things that we do at our farm is about 5% of our acres are designated in the. So what that does is it sets aside acreages that really shouldn't be land, wetland, things that really should be returned to the native species. So to that program. So that was a big part of being designated as a certified sustainable. There's certain land that was never meant to be farmland. It just shouldn't be. So we do that at our farm. That's one of the many ways that there was a whole checklist. Remember off the top of your head from 2021, other things, but it was a process, like anything.
Yeah.
To get it was important to us. Sustainability with any business is important, but especially agriculture, it has to be here for generations. We're not making
And agriculture is a tough business to be in, so
yes,
it is it's
absolutely.
cutthroat, especially in your neck of the woods. It's cutthroat, and you all know what I'm talking about. It's everywhere there, and it's pretty competitive. Grain prices are competitive. So it's amazing you guys can actually do this and found a way to repurpose grains and stuff, and make actually money for yourself with it instead of selling it to the man, and but most of your farms are in Ashton, correct?
That's correct. Yes, it's about
So
10 miles
that's
from
about yeah. So basically, you guys had repurposed some of your land, basically donated a lot of that land back to Mother Nature, and allowed the wildlife and the natural species to flourish in those areas. And you guys got an award from Colorado as well. I remember. I can't remember what year. There's another
we got the
award.
Illinois State Award. Is that maybe the one you're referring to?
You had another one,
or
Colorado, and I think you guys came in almost won.
oh yes, that was for the vodka and gin. Yes, we entered
Yeah, that's
a
it.
contest. Yeah, so yes, both of in that contest. We're looking to maybe enter our whiskey into one of these days. But yeah, to see where your products line up against other ones. So yes, that was an important one, and
Yeah, it's definitely important to basically be judged, to get that judgment, and go against some other big players and see where you fall. And you guys had to have been pretty proud of yourselves to come in at the top.
yes.
Rick, how involved are you in the distilling process? Are you involved in the grains and or is it just the business side and you kind of just let Adam do what he needs to do?
That's mostly Adam. I can assist in the distilling side. I do a little bit of everything every day.
So you guys have a rick house there, or where's your rick house located? Is that on site?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Yes, we've got a rick house. We can walk out there if that works for you.
Yeah, sure.
Right,
Okay,
we are here in our rick house now.
All right. This is pretty impressive. I just got a glimpse of it. Wow.
So this space, right now we're just lining the outside with barrels. Some of the floor space open. We hold events out here. We hold banquets and weddings, things of that nature. We can. So far, we've hosted up to 200 people. I think it can even. So we just keep lining the edges with all the barrels. We keep steadily within a few years. This whole space will be full of bourbon barrels.
So, what year did you guys open?
We opened in 2019 in March.
So, obviously, you started this before 2019 because you had to have barrel aged a lot of your stuff.
Yeah, we were building in 2016, and we started distilling about 27. You are correct.
The renovation did take 2.5 years. The Hub Theater. In that time, we were getting all of our equipment in and could start distilling and getting smoothly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive, the amount you have in a short period of time. So you had to been just going.
Exactly.
Dad
And
only has.
what's that?
I said, Dad only has one speed.
Hey, it's worked out though. So what is your typical age your on your barrels? Are you doing 5 years like Kentucky, or are you guys in a climate where you can get by with fewer years?
Um, we're going to stick with which is the 53-gallon size barrels, and we're all going to stick with the traditional 5. You do sample it, obviously. It's one of the benefits of the job. So we do sample. Come through here um, that really understand whiskey, and some that everybody that has sampled it has said it's very, very, very good. That's one of our goals going into the barrel. It's very drinkable. Again, that's why we hired our distiller first,
Sure.
and then
Lot of times right from the barrel, it's going to be hot, you know. So you're going to get that bite because you have a barrel proof, and you're taking it straight from the barrel. You're getting that. Typically, you're going to air it out for a few days, and then you're going to proof it down and then bottle. So straight from the barrel, you know, if you're getting a good product straight from the barrel, you know you're going to have some at the very back end.
and that's what we've been doing is when we sample it, it's right, and um, it's very smooth. I mean, I've had probably 200 taste testers at random, and they've all enjoyed it, coming straight from the barrel.
That's pretty impressive. So what is your most sellable liquor? I guess what's your staple? Everybody has bourbon, or I seen you got some reflux columns there, so I know you're doing vodka. Um, so, you know, what's your staple? What's your best selling
Well,
product?
like all distillers, you start off with your vodka, and then we went into our gin, obviously, and that's very difficult to make. It takes a lot of skill, and then so that was the first two things that we made to get out on the store shelves. Folks could sample our product and buy our product, and then we went into and that was like 2 years old. People really enjoyed that 95 proof, but then the last thing that we barreled, or a rye whiskey, it was a cask strength. So it was about 111 proof. Really like that. So
Oh wow.
to answer your question, I know it's kind of a long route. The cask strength rye whiskey is our biggest seller.
That so they were drinking the rye right from the cask, and you know
Right.
rye is already hot.
Exactly.
Um, you know, so that's pretty impressive. And you get it right from the cask, and you know people aren't getting that heat because rye's got the pepper,
Yep.
and you're already going to get that from the barrel, right from the barrel. So I'm I honestly, my family's still there, and I twice I've came back and I try to make a point to come down there and see y'all, and, I get caught up. You know how it is.
I
Um,
understand.
and then because I know you guys, you guys do you guys do food too?
We room, and then there's a bistro right across the street street that people order
Okay.
food in from. So it really fits in well with our theme, so that we can just focus on the spirits and their own light appetizers, or order from really any restaurant in town.
Okay. Like Vince's.
Exactly.
Yeah, Vince's is right there. Yes.
Yeah. But because I noticed you guys had this balcony out back, and that was an add-on by you all because I don't ever remember that there, but it is pretty neat. And you guys can go out there and lounge right outside out on that patio.
Absolutely. It's interesting. In the very first theater in 1926 had a balcony. It was actually removed in the 80s renovation, so we actually added it back, if you will, as
Yeah,
kind of a way to construction. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's nice to sit out on a nice and watch the downtown.
absolutely. Well, Rick, you guys have been fabulous. I'm really impressed with your Rick House.
Well, thank you.
That's pretty impressive, my friend.
Thank you.
And the whole business in general is neat, and the how you guys started, the story of how you guys started. You know, your family's going back to the 1800s, farming in that community, and it's been in the family blood since then. And you're third generation or fourth generation, Rick? One of the two, right?
I think I'm fifth, and my daughter is sixth, and our grandchildren, they choose to farm, which they will.
Of course they will.
Yeah, they don't really have.
Um, so I mean, this is really neat. And then you guys just branched off into a whole new journey on top of the farming, and this is going to branch your family off in a whole different direction as well. You know, I'm sure Adam's ecstatic to be doing something like this for a living. You know, it's probably one of the neatest things to be pulled into a family business and doing what you love to do. But I, I I'm gonna make it in there, Rick. I promise. And
Oh,
I'm gonna come and I'm gonna ask for you because I want to shake your hand because you guys did an
okay,
amazing
love
job with
to
this.
have you.
Dad are here pretty much every day, and when we're open on the, so if you stop by,
You'll
they'll
never
be.
you never know when I might show up. I'm sporadic, but I definitely it's one of my goals the last 2 years is to try to get in there, and it just seems to not happen. Something else pops up, but I'm gonna come visit you, Rick, and
All right.
I got to see this with my own eyes too. The the we got a glimpse of some of your distillery, and that's pretty amazing reflux column you got there. And your your business in general, like I said, the history of it was what I was really impressed with, because you guys just kind of went from this direction all the way over to this direction, and but you've combined the two really well, and I think you found a way to repurpose a lot of the grains, and I think that's probably benefited you the most is being able to produce your own. Um, and Aubrey, I appreciate you too, sitting in and talking with us. This has been awesome. I really thank you for your time and everything. I know you guys got a business to run, and it's Friday, and I know it's going to be hopping. Rochelle's hopping on Fridays, isn't it?
It
There's
is.
a festival downtown tonight, so I know
Oh, really?
it'll be a fun night. Yep, Heritage Festival.
Oh, that's right. So,
Yeah.
so you guys get the people from the poorhouse come up and get some fancy drinks.
Yeah, there we go.
But again, I want to thank you all. You guys have been fabulous and sitting down and kind of talking about your stuff. And I will see you guys soon, Rick. I promise. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for your time as well.
Thanks for having us.
Sometimes into Asheville, sometimes Memphis town. The revenuers chased him, but they couldn't run him down. Each time they thought they had him, his engine would explode. He'd go by like they were standing still on Thunder Road. And there was thunder, thunder, all over Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine and white lightning was his load. And there was moonshine, moonshine, quench the devil's thirst. The law they swore they'd get him, but the devil got him first. On the 1st of April, 1954, the federal man sent word he'd better make his run no more. He said 200 agents were covering the state. Whichever road he tried to take, they'd get him sure as fate. Son, his daddy told him, make this run your last. Your tank is filled with 100 proof. You're all tuned up and gassed. Now don't take any chances. If you can't get through, I'd rather have you back again than all that Mountain Dew. And there was thunder,